This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, August 27th. Please stand for our invocation led by Vice President LaVon Manzi, District 2, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we come thanking you for this day, thanking you for life, for health, and strength, asking that you look down upon the members of this council, the mayor and all of the members of his administration, all the city employees, our first responders, and most importantly, the citizens of the city of Mobile. Bless our city to continue to grow and to prosper, to be fair to all. We thank you for your goodness and your mercy. Asking that you bless this meeting, the items that we are to adjudicate, that they may be for the progression of your people. These are the blessings we ask in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
First, we'd ask that you would turn off or silence all of your electronic devices before or upon entering the council meeting. Any person desiring to address the council must first sign in indicating the ordinance, resolution, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, we ask that you clearly state for the record both your name and your address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk's office on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday in which you'd like to speak by 2 p.m. Your commentary must be pertinent to City of Mobile business. Anyone who doesn't follow those directions won't have the opportunity to speak before the council. Each speaker is granted 5 minutes. At the sounding of the bell, that will be indicating that 4 minutes have elapsed and that you have 1 minute for summarizing. The second bell indicates that all of your time has expired. When addressing the council, we ask that you make no specific remarks to any particular council member. Make all commentary to myself, who serves as chair, and if there are any council persons who wish to respond, they'll have that opportunity. To maintain decorum, we ask that there be no undue applause and or public outcry during the course of this very important meeting. Those are our rules, and we certainly appreciate all of your interest in your municipal government. Madam City Clerk.
Approval of minutes of August 13th and August 20th.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor.
Good morning. How's everybody this morning?
Good morning.
Good. I have an opportunity this morning to present the budget. Actually, it was delivered to the City Council last week. Everybody received their copies, and additionally, it has been online since last week for the public to see. And the budget message that is written by the mayor is about a 6 or 7 page explanation of it. I don't see anybody in the audience that would like me to read all of that right at this moment. But if you would like me to read it all, I will be glad to do so, but assuming that you don't, I will say this, that just so everybody understands the process, is that after the end of our fiscal year, and after a determined amount of time, the auditors come in and do their work, verifying everything that we have done. And typically it is during the month of March that we receive our audit of the previous year. After we have received that audit, we start the process right then of working with all of our department heads, of them submitting their budgets for the next year. So let's say that's April. So that process starts, so the department heads get with the supervisors, get with the foreman, and they build a budget. Now, typically, when they hand in their budget, it exceeds the income that we will have to fund their department. So this year, I think it was somewhere between $20 and $25 million in excess of what we had revenues to pay for what the fire department wanted, what Public Works wanted, what everybody wanted. You know, there was just not sufficient income for that. So we will give the budget back to the fire chief and to the police chief and parks director and say, you've got to make some cuts because there's insufficient revenue to support what you want. That process goes back and forth until we finally get to a point to where we have what we project to be a balanced budget. So in presenting the budget, it's incumbent upon the mayor that he has to submit a balanced budget to the city council. And upon the submission of the budget, then the city council has an opportunity to make amendments to that. And, you know, in the years past, it's generally hovered around performance contracts. Everybody that has received performance contracts in the past, you know, there's terminology talked about level funding. They would certainly not like to see their funding cut. Typically, they would all like to see more funding. And each year, invariably, there is somebody who at the very end of the year, after all the work is done to prepare the budget, they say, you know, we need more money. And so they reach out to the city council, they reach out to the mayor and say, please work with us to help us make up the deficit that we're currently experiencing. This year is no different than previous years, and we will work with the council to address those needs of those people that have the performance contracts. I will say this, that in our general fund this year, the things that, with an increase in revenue this year, there are several things that eat up most of the increase in revenue that we had, and one is we will have a full year of the 2.5% raise that we gave a few months ago. So we'll have to pay for that for the entire year. That ate up a lot of it. And another is that the full implementation of our motor pool rates. And the reason we have that is that as cars are driven and worn out, we want to be able to replace those vehicles. And so we are paying in at a rate so that we can replace those vehicles on an orderly basis. So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice President, I'd be glad to present this to you, although I think that you have it. So that is my presentation for the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Vice President.
Mr. Davis.
If I could, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The mayor has now presented the budget, and the City Council, as required by statute, is setting the public hearing on the budget for a week from today at 10:30 in the morning. And I would ask the clerk to provide all appropriate notices in connection with that public hearing. Thank you.
I've got a proclamation, unless the mayor's not done. If he has any.
Does that conclude all of your remarks, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Rich? Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Some of the best parts of the job is when you get to give a proclamation out, and this is truly one of them. Now, I would like Brian Carberry to come forward for the proclamation. Whereas the Mobile Kennel Club Incorporated is hosting their 98th Gulf Coast Classic Dog Show on September 4th through the 8th, 2019 at the grounds in Mobile, Alabama. And whereas this nonprofit organization was chartered on October 20th, 1921, by 48 members led by their president, Wallace E. Gibbons. And whereas the Mobile Kennel Club is an all-breed dog club licensed by the American Kennel Club, promoting purebred dogs through proper care, careful breeding, and through the years they've hosted several Westminster Kennel Club show winners. And whereas since 2006, the venue limitations have required that the show be held in Biloxi, Mississippi. However, this year, the show has returned to Mobile. And whereas approximately 1,000 dogs from across the country are expected to compete and be judged in events including barn hunt, scent work, coursing ability test, canine good citizen, and dock diving. Now therefore, I, Vesta Rich, council member of District 6, along with all council members and our mayor, do hereby proclaim the following days. Do hereby proclaim September 4th through the 8th, 2019 as Gulf Coast Classic Dog Show Days in Mobile, and urge all our citizens to join us in this very momentous occasion. One second. Can I just say, I know that we have some cat fanciers on the council, but we also have a few that are into their pets, their dogs or canines. Some are purebreds, and the standards that you'll see at this show are phenomenal. It is free to the public. Parking is even free, if I'm not mistaken, out at the grounds. And we all know where that is in District 7. And then if you have a Heinz 57, you might want to see what makes up your dog, what those standards are. And it is so educational to see all this, and the people that are so passionate about their dogs and what it means to them. They travel all over the country to show their dogs, to get points for their dogs. And again, this goes on from the 4th through the 8th. There'll be best of shows that will be awarded. And again, you can roam through. There's vendors that are selling wares that we all could use for our pups at home. And so you can talk to people that do this for a living. And last time there was a veterinarian there, and it happens to be someone who did ophthalmology for dogs, which is eye surgery and eye work. And so that interests my husband right out there to find out what that involves in a canine. So again, Brian, if you have anything to add, I really hope that you'll come and witness what this event is like, and to have it back in our city is really fabulous.
Thank you. I don't know how I can follow that up. She pretty much covered everything. This year, we're going to have 2 veterinarians. We're not going to do just eye testing. We're also going to do heart testing for dogs. So we're going to have that available. We've gotten a lot of promotion, a lot of assistance, not only from, we thank the Mobile City Council for all of your help, but Visit Mobile has helped us. Mobile Bay Magazine did a very nice article in their August edition about our dog show coming up. So we've really had the whole city behind us, and we really appreciate that coming back. Also, this year, I just want to let everybody know that we were asked by the Kids Miracle, or Kids Wish Network. There's a young lady up in Auburn who has a severe insulin dependency, and her wish was to go to a dog show. So they called us, so her and her family will be coming to our show on Friday and Saturday. She doesn't know it yet, so if you know this young lady, don't tell her. We're going to have her help present Best in Show Saturday. So that's a surprise to her and her family. They don't know about it yet, and we have all kind of goodies and stuff to give her, of course. So we're really looking forward to that. And with that, you pretty much covered everything. We do have a little over 900 dogs coming this year, and we do really appreciate everything that the city has done for us and all of your assistance.
It's a
So thank
great
you.
show. It's really fabulous. There you go. You can put your little proclamation
All right,
in there.
thank you so much.
All right.
Really, don't miss it. It's worth visiting. Thank you, Brian, for all you do.
Peter Toller.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Staff. Peter Toller, Urban Forester, City of Mobile, District 1, address 6 Maury Drive. I came down here to brag on our city, and one thing that every person that comes here as a tourist always has a positive comment about, and that's our tree canopy. It's almost overwhelming every day to think about how many trees are in Mobile. Speaking to some of the extension agents, Mobile and public right-of-way and private property has an estimated 8 million trees. That's almost beyond comprehension for me. It's been a great year with the city. We now have a team of arborists that inspect our trees on a daily basis, applying national standards, which I'm quite proud of. We also, this past year, have done a tree giveaway. We did it at our office, but we will be looking for various locations this year to conduct that. It was a huge success. We had over 750 cars pass through the Hertel Street parking lot to give away trees. People were giddy, ecstatic, and had a great time in previous years. We've done service projects, conservation projects to help further our tree canopy along. Mainly what I came here today, I want to present to Mayor Stimson a sign that I received a couple of weeks ago from the Arbor Day Foundation. And the city of Mobile is a Tree City USA designation, and what makes our city stand out is we're the oldest city in the state at 40 years as a Tree City USA. So I brought this to show everybody.
Oh, nice.
And I am quite proud of this. And Mayor Simpson, I want to present this to you.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes, sir.
I would say that there are so many people that are involved in this. I mean, all of our citizens. I haven't run across one that doesn't love my trees. So thank everybody. On behalf of the city council, we thank everybody for your interest in what you're doing. And thank you, Peter, for what you do.
Yeah. Good deal. Thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Gregory?
before Peter leaves, I do just want to publicly thank you, Peter, for all you do, not just in promoting our tree canopy, which of course is very important, but also whenever anybody calls and they've got issues with tree limbs or diseased trees, anything, you know, Peter is very quick to take action, and he's very responsive in getting information back to us. So we are very fortunate to have Peter working for us here in the city of Mobile. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I can tell you this, to make a decision about a tree in the city is not easy,
Yes.
because I know how much everybody loves their trees. But I am proud to say that myself and my team of arborists make decisions based off national standards that are actually recognized internationally. And I know every department in the city is hardworking, but I'm also going to brag on my guys in the field. They're some of the most hardworking men I've ever met in my life, and I really appreciate them. Without my guys, without the city working together, without everybody here, my job wouldn't be possible, and I fully recognize that, and it humbles me daily.
Mr. Davis?
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to add my thanks to Mr. Toller and his team for all the work they do. Thank you very much, Peter. He's always been very responsive when I've asked him to meet with me over a tree issue or help resolve a tree issue. And I'd just like to say that I give place to no one in terms of my love for trees. The city is now going through a period of time when we're doing more infrastructure work than we've ever done before. And it's virtually impossible to do this work without taking some trees out. And I want to assure the public that the council and the administration and the staff are being very, when we're doing a project that's going to require some trees to be taken out, we take every step to preserve the trees that are there, the healthy trees that are there. And we also take every step to replace the trees that have to come out, not just one-on-one, but many, many times multiples of one-on-one. And we're all very concerned about our tree canopy, but it's virtually impossible to make the infrastructure improvements that have to be made without occasionally taking some trees out. And thank you for your work.
If I could comment too?
Ms. Rich?
And join this cheerleading side of the aisle. In all sincerity, I know you grew up here, and I just really thank you for coming back with your expertise, because again, it's that trust that you have given the community, in that your information that you have about the tree's health can be communicated, and I just thank you for that, for your dedication and your willingness to be such a good public servant.
Well, thank you.
Well, I would be remiss, I worked with Mr. Toller on several important tree projects in District 2. I have a very passionate contingent of residents who wouldn't want to see a branch cut off a tree, a limb to fall, a leaf to fall. I hear about it, and he hears about it. And so I'm appreciative of all that you do, all the members of your department. Glad to see that we'll continue to be a tree city and have done that for 40 years, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to say this, one city employee that loves his job. I mean, he's very happy about his job. I mean, I think talking about trees is like talking about money to him. They're both green.
Yes, sir. Interesting tidbit. Everybody loves our street trees. The average size street tree in Mobile soaks up 25,000 gallons of rainwater a year per tree. People find that very fascinating. Or at least I do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk?
Monthly finance report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I know we have a busy agenda this morning, so I will keep the 10-month financial report extremely brief. I'll tell you that sales taxes for the month were up about $950,000 over budget, which was pretty phenomenal. That accounts for 1/2 of the amount by which our sales taxes are over budget for the year. I tried to find a trend in that, but could not do so. So we'll just hope for the best and see if that continues over the next couple of months. But that was positive. The increase in sales taxes this year to date over last year, which I know Mr. Davis is more interested in, is about $6.8 million for the first 10 months, which is strong. All departments are traveling under budget on the expense side, and although the city usually experiences some increased spending towards the end of the year, you know, there's a human emotion that likes to maybe spend a little bit towards the end of a fiscal budget period. It looks like we'll have a solid year, and the most important reason for that is to be able to meet the requirement in the 2020 budget for a carryover of about $8.5 million to supplement our revenues expected in 2020. That has been a common part of the budget over the last 6 years. In some ways, it's probably not the best to have, but since that amount has not gone really up over those years, it is a piece of the budget that we expect, and so during the year we do strive to indicate a carryover of some size for the succeeding budget year, and it looks like that will take place. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Davis?
The increase in the sales tax that you mentioned, the $6-point something million, does that include the SSUT?
It does not, and thank you for asking that question. It does not include SSUT. That looks to be a couple $1 million more this year. Given the phase-in, as we've discussed before, of the full implementation of the SSUT amendments from the last legislative sessions, we anticipate that to be more than double for 2020. That's good and bad. The good news is the SSUT projection is about $4.9 million for 2020. The bad news is our SSUT effective tax rate is only 2.86% compared to our nominal 5% sales tax rate. So for a round number way of looking at that is, given our projection for 2020, we are losing something on the order of $4.5 million in sales tax because of the increase in
If the sales
SSUT.
volumes remain the same.
That's correct.
And so it's safe to say that the SSUT is growing year over year at a significantly greater rate than the sales tax itself.
Brick and mortar.
And we can anticipate that that will continue, that the growth rate will be higher than the growth rate for other revenues in the city. And of course, as we've discussed, and you have supported consistently for the last 2 years, we continue trying to remedy that with the state legislature, and we'll certainly ask for your help and support as we go into the next year.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Ms. Rich?
This year's budget reserve was $8.2 million, according to the paperwork, correct?
Correct.
Do you have the total of how much is sitting in reserve accumulated over the last number of budget years?
Yes, I do not have that with me, but we can certainly talk about that as we
Great.
meet in Finance Committee.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Any further questions for Mr. West? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Rich.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on November 22nd on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to consider approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Stevie Brown doing business as Elion Limousine Service.
Is there anyone here that would like to offer any commentary during this particular public hearing? If not, the public hearing is closed.
Public hearing to fix the cost for demolition of structures at 566 Bates Lane, 721 Dr. Thomas Avenue North, 909 Minor Street, 1901 Riverside Drive, and 7676 Avenue D.
Is there anyone here that would like to offer any commentary for these particular public hearings as called by our city clerk? If not, these public hearings are closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Katja Garza.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Katia Garza. I am the Artistic Director and School Director of Mobile Ballet. I would like to begin by thanking the mayor
If you could
and
give
the...
us your address, please.
Oh. My name is Katia Garza,
Uh-huh.
and you need my address.
Your address, yes.
I actually just moved to a new house. So it's 4250 Michael Boulevard, Mobile,
All right.
33609.
There we go.
Well, I'm the Artistic Director and the School Director of Mobile Ballet. I would like to begin by thanking the Mayor and the City Council for the continuation of funding for Mobile Ballet in the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2020. We are grateful for the long-standing support from our community and our city leaders, which allow us to continue to fulfill our mission. I would like to provide you with an update of our past season and the new season. Last year, the audiences gave us glowing reviews of each show, and we enjoyed the record attendance in our spring production. The attendance was up to 121% over the previous year at our Discover Dance productions, which are presented exclusively for K-12 students, giving many kids their first introduction to full-length performances in the theater and sparking lifelong love for the performing arts. Enrollment at the Mobile Ballet increased nearly 25% over the previous year, and we also add a new on-stage opportunity for the students at the end of the year showcase at Davison High School. Mobile Ballet is very proud to have a racially diverse school and provide exceptional training on parallel in the area of aspiring dancers, male and female. We are happy to provide job opportunities for former students to return to provide their training to the new generations, along with several world-class instructors, professional instructors. This summer, Mobile Ballet Company dancers were honored to provide an outreach new program performance at the United Cerebral Palsy Camp Smile, and an incredible 20 students of Mobile Ballet were accepted in these summer programs around the country, where in the most prestigious schools like New York, Joffrey Ballet School, ABT, etc. As the previous year, we had several students compete in a prestigious ballet competition, and one of our students were in the finals in New York, being one of the last 30 finalists over 400 students, which we are very proud of. We are poised to embark on an exciting new season. Mobile Ballet tradition of excellence continues this year with the classical ballet Giselle in October, a fresh-taking holiday, the Nutcracker, as every year, and an exciting new production of Beauty and the Beast at the end of the season. And I just wanted to invite you all so you can come to the ballet, and hopefully this year we can manage to work together and do more for our community with the students. Hopefully I can visit all of you in your area with the dancers. And if I can share this with you.
Yes, ma'am. If you give that to the city clerk, please. Mr. Richardson?
Yes. Ms. Garza, I have one public high school in District 1, LaFleur High School. So I want to know, do you have you included any of the students at LaFleur High School into your ballet program?
Yes, I'm actually working in a new outreach program, trying to visit every single public school, and we are in the creation of this program, which let's bring ballet to you instead of you coming to us. And I'm working on it with Mr. Bob, that he's helping me to get close to all the public schools so we can actually get to you and have an introduction to the arts for all these kids.
Outstanding. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Riley Breen's. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me.
You got all the way here.
I didn't call Miss Tate, Becky Tate.
Thank you all. Good morning. My name is Becky Tate, and my home address is 141 Myrtlewood Lane, 36608. I am substituting for the president of Mobile Ballet, Dr. Jill Ringgold, who could not be here this morning. So I am speaking from remarks prepared and was asked to speak to you all on behalf of the board of Mobile Ballet, and to first thank the mayor and the city council for your ongoing support, just as Katia said, in helping us fulfill our mission for the city of Mobile. Our mission is to provide superior dance education, to present quality performances, and to promote the ballet to the community as an expression of the human spirit. As a nonprofit organization that has been serving Mobile, we have made a tremendous impact on the cultural, artistic, and economic landscape of the greater Mobile area for over 32 years. Each year, we touch over 15,000 residents annually through the programs and public appearances, such as Katia mentioned to you, Discover Dance, Share the Dance, an outreach program, our ballet school. We enjoy a broad-based community support, and our board, volunteers, student, faculty, and patrons represent a broad cross-section of this community. In a growing metropolitan area such as Mobile, the importance of performing arts is crucial and has an incredible impact on the vitality of the community. Arts organizations can help to keep our young people here, help keep them from looking elsewhere to seek employment and to settle their families, and can help attract new businesses. Arts can change young lives for the better by offering opportunities to learn discipline, increase their confidence, and gain self-respect. We are aware, the board is aware of ongoing discussions and the plans for the redevelopment of the Mobile Civic Center complex, which includes our longtime venue, the Mobile Civic Center Theater. We have been involved in discussions with the mayor and many of you all regarding the need for an appropriate performance venue when the talks of redevelopment originated a few years ago. And we would like to continue to work with you for an appropriate solution for all of the arts organizations. So, on behalf of the board today, we are asking the council to please take a moment to think about Mobile Ballet as those plans move forward. The Mobile Civic Center Theater is the home of our productions each season because it is the only performance space in the greater Mobile area that is appropriate to accommodate the ballet productions. Unfortunately, there is no other venue in our city or county which can accommodate the dimensions of our custom stage sets, nor has adequate backstage area and dressing rooms for the large number of cast members and costumes in our productions. Mobile Ballet would love to be a part of the discussions moving forward for whatever plans the city has for the redevelopment of a new theater or renovations of our existing theater. We simply need to ensure that an adequate venue for all of the performing arts in Mobile will be in consideration in the redevelopment plans. The city's ongoing collaboration with Mobile Ballet and many other outstanding arts organizations in our city helps ensure the long-standing programs that touch the lives of so many. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Riley Breams.
I'm Riley. I live at 5518 Nassau Drive, 36608, District 7. That was great. What Ms. Tate said, it pretty much sums up what I'm here to tell you. So I'm going to read from Oysters and Politics. I don't know if you guys know of J. Oliver Winslow, but he was an entrepreneur and a writer who lived here in Mobile and one of the founding fathers of our legacy. He basically said he has his serious moments, even though what he's about to mention may not sound that serious. He says, when you work long hours 7 days a week and have no opportunity to go hunting or fishing, something has to be done to liven things up a bit. He was referring to his writings and studies in politics. Similar to that type of mindset, there is a creative partnership that has started in the city of Mobile between Alabama Hughes, which is owned by Bill Appling, a retired police officer and a successful entrepreneur here in Mobile, and the Mobile Arts Council, which is now run by Lucy Gafford, who is without a doubt a creative genius and has really taken the reins there very well. They've been working with the juvenile court through Judge Naaman, who, as we all know, when it comes to deciding things for children's lives, Judge Naaman is the person I would trust to make those decisions. So what we've done with these two agencies is we've formed a creative partnership, and our focus is primarily on public art. And why is that? And by the way, as I continue, I'm not here to ask you for money today. I'm here to tell you thank you, and here's the work we've been doing.
All right.
Yeah. So why have public art? Well, really, we believe in creating a destination. We know that it empowers the people. It gives us an opportunity to tell our cultural story. It builds a future when we work with young people, and it also bridges the gap I'm going to read you another quote from Franklin Roosevelt. He said, "It's common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something." So this collaboration has decided to try public art with these ideas that we know to be true, that it can boost revenue, economy, and civil morale in the areas in which it's placed. Just recently, with creating a destination, we went and decided to give a visual resurrection of the community of Pritchard through artist Soinika Bush. They painted on a public business there on Whistler Avenue. Since then, multiple teens from both within the juvenile court and abroad have taken their graduation photos in front of this mural. People have had family portraits done in front of it as well. We've given Pritchard a reason to feel good about itself. We do that with Mobile. In fact, before Mobile's downtown started to really redevelop, the arts were there first. As you guys know, Bob and Charlie and the Mobile Arts Council and Art Walk, which you guys have always supported, we've continued to bring lifeblood into the community as artists. Additionally, empowering the people, we've really gone into a new avenue with that concept. Sahar Al-Ford is an artist from Iran, and she came to the United States under the Brahi faith. Where she lived, she could not have access to education. But she's a phenomenal artist and one of the head architects for Hostel. She worked with our young kids at Strickland Youth Center, our young females, in fact, and produced a mural that is in David Naiman's space downtown off of Dauphin and Royal Street. It's a part of an international campaign that put Mobile with the enlightened likes of St. Fredericksburg, South Africa, Barcelona, Spain, Sydney, Australia, and of course all the big names in America, Chicago, New York, LA, all that stuff. And Mobile is tied in there, strangely enough, because we participate in that type of program. Additionally, we like to tell our story. Mentioned J. Oliver Winslow today. He's number 2 in our Founding Fathers mural that we covered the Azalea Trail with Sam Lackland, who founded it 90 years ago. It's the anniversary. So to keep it short, I just wanted to thank you guys for supporting the arts and let you know that we are working with the juvenile court and with multiple agencies to continue to make this a place where we enhance the quality of life.
And Mr. Chairman, if I might, while you all are here and Lucy is here, I just wanted to add to that. We have a new mural. There are going to be some panels to help, I don't know if the word is decorate, it's probably more hide and certainly make more aesthetically pleasing.
Sure.
At the drop-off center over on Museum Drive, where we have our recycling drop-off center. So what they have done is worked with all these different agencies that we just heard about, with Strickland Youth Center, the Alabama Hughes, Festival of Flowers, Nest, of course the Arts Council, and others, to put together some murals to help, again, certainly hide and make more aesthetically pleasing the drop-off center over there, but also to provide some public art, because having public art in all these different spaces is a great way to provide more incentive for people to get involved in art and to see what you can do with art in places that you don't necessarily expect to see it. So we really want to thank all of you all for working together on this project as well in my district at the recycling center, because, I mean, here comes the invitation. Right on time. It's something that you don't necessarily expect,
right.
And I think it's a great way to show off what can be done. So thank you for all of your work, and I really appreciate getting the word out about this. I think it's a wonderful project. Thank you.
Not to continue on, but at the core of our principles is crime prevention through environmental design. We know that aesthetically pleasing areas have lower crime rates, which result in safer areas to raise families and support business. Thank you.
I have a question, Riley.
Yes.
Thank you. Does your group pick up donations from people for your supplies and stuff, or how do you gather that up in order to have the means to do those murals?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So we used to take a heavy amount of donations at the Mobile Arts Council. Now that it has moved to another location that is managed by SMG Management but owned by the city, I believe that people could drop off in that area if they see fit. But also at Antique Emporium in Midtown, our Alabama Hughes studio is on the 3rd floor there, and the people are really good to get the stuff to. It's also Truman's downtown. If you've been to lunch there, they're a huge supporter of ours as well. And so if you want to drop off, I'm sure we can arrange some things.
Great. So you take in-kind donations of paints and supplies?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Besides capital gifts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's
We
good
work
to
with what we
know.
can get.
Yeah, you might want to get a flyer out so people know how to get these things to you.
Sure. Well, here recently, we've gotten a great deal of donations from Keep Mobile Beautiful. Also, the Festival of Flowers was really well to participate. And the Mobile Arts Council is really good at pulling funds to find supplies. We're really good about supplies because we go industrial. We're not as fine art. Everything that we produce is for the long haul, not necessarily for like the refinement. You know. So.
But they're wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
think our panels are foam or made with foam, something like that, so little bit different than.
Oh, the ones that are
At the
on your.
drop-off, yeah.
Oh no, those are.
Okay, never mind.
They're 3/4 inch pressure treated marine plywood you would put on like a beach house.
Oh, okay.
And then we used exterior paint from Sherwin-Williams and with a Loxon base and then acrylic coating. So yeah, it's going to outlast me probably.
Definitely industrial, sounds great. And for those of you who are interested, September 5th, 5:30 will be the unveiling.
And then afterwards, come listen to Noel ramble on about his work at the museum. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'd also like to commend you for this work, which is very, very important. I'd also like to commend you for partnering with the Alabama State Council on the Arts, which I currently serve as chairman.
Thank you.
And I would just, since we're on TV, the Alabama State Council on the Arts makes grants to arts organizations for projects and events such as this. Across the state, unhappily, the other areas of the state are doing better than Southwest Alabama in obtaining funding from the Alabama Council on the Arts. And it really goes back to we just don't get that many people from Southwest Alabama applying to the council.
Sure.
So I always urge organizations to contact the State Council on the Arts. The staff up there is more than willing to help any organization, any arts organization. And we also make arts and education grants as I said, the staff is happy. The staff's not going to prepare the grant application,
sure,
but happy to point you in the right direction. But thank you very much.
Well, we'll have a follow-up meeting about that, and I hold you to it. Anybody else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Irene Antone.
She's right there.
Okay.
Start talking before she gets here.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Irene Antone. I live at 2202 Clinton Street. And I'm here this morning because over this old council group, I have been listening to our financial report from our administrative table. And I have been at other places in this same area giving financial report. They have down there, they have all the checks they paid, and they had all of that. But in our situation, we say we got so much money for this, and so much money for this, and so much money for this. And by the time we get out of here, we don't remember how much money we got, or we made a little of this, or we lost this. We need figures where people can see it. Okay, I have a computer in one room, I have a laptop somewhere else, and ain't none of them working. Ain't none of them working. So I need to have something eyeball to eyeball. And that's not only me, there are some people who don't have computers and stuff. So that's what I'm here for today, because I want it done, and I'm not making anybody feel bad, but our former mayor, who's no mayor now, he's something other than Montgomery, we had that. And I think before him, we had that. So we just need to know, not just what degree or what percent and whatever. I went back at my house, I got a championship arithmetic book, and it did all of that. And oh, by the way, I was an accountant for 40 years through the school system, so I know what I'm talking about. It's not off the top of my head, so I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you today. Thank you.
Good to see you too, sir.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Richardson?
what Ms. Anstone is saying that is when the finance director gives his report, she would like him to have copies of that report to be distributed to the public. That's all she's saying. That once he gives his report and leaves, she forgets what he said. But if he has some copies of his report and make them available to the public, whoever wants to see it, she wants a copy of that report.
Yes, sir. Madam City Clerk?
Reggie Hill.
Mr. Chairman,
Good morning.
members of the council, to our mayor, and it's so great to see the entire administration here for the meeting, to our administration, and most importantly to the citizens and stakeholders of the city of Mobile. Good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. I stand before you today to discuss three what I feel are very important topics, the first being the Clogging the Pipeline Initiative. Then I want to discuss the Municipal Court Committee that was established a little over a month ago. And finally, just to give my perspective as we move forward with the budgeting, the performance contracts, which I feel has the most important effect on improving the quality of life in the city of Mobile. As we're entering football season, I kind of want to lead in with the Clogging the Pipeline Initiative with a comparison. For those who may not know, I'm the Executive Director of Success for the Future. We aim to ensure that young people, particularly those at risk, steer clear pathways that lead to delinquency, social dependency, and incarceration, and we do this through implementation of worthwhile behavior intervention and character development programs. And I'm pleased to be accompanied today by our new Director of Development, Mr. Derico Davis. The Clogging the Pipeline Initiative is a new project that we are implementing, and we're so thankful for the Mobile County Commission to stand behind us. They've endorsed us with an appropriation contract, which we're partnering as well. We're thankful for the support from the Dearborn YMCA, which has allowed us to use facilities to implement the project as well. We're very appreciative for the ACDC, Africatown Community Development Corporation, for their ongoing support as well. This was submitted by Commissioner Lovegood. The motion was made by Commissioner Hudson. I'm thankful for Commissioner Carl, the current president, who signed this contract. So basically what the Clogging the Pipeline Initiative is, as we all are aware here in this area, the Alabama Department of Corrections is under deep scrutiny by the U.S. Department of Justice, and primarily for our prison populations, overcrowding, just not being an overall safe place for us to live. There is a phrase that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I believe that some old dogs can learn new tricks, but it's better to start with the puppies, and then when they become dogs, things will be better off. And so we want to start preventing these things at an early stage so that when they are adults and they are in charge and they're in position, they'll make better decisions to actually improve the quality of life and have this being a safe place. We're going to use an objective called Project LEAD to implement the Clogging the Pipeline Initiative, and that stands for literacy, entrepreneurship, arts, and discipline. The literacy component comes from a book that I just wrote. It's called Just Me, which stands for Motivational Empowerment. And so the kids will be able to get their own ideas on how they're going to curtail criminal activity and violence in their communities, and they'll be presenting this to the leaders. So eventually you'll be seeing the young people come down here and show you exactly how they believe we can get things changed, and they're going to be rewarded for that as well. And so I'm hoping that we can garnish the support of the council and the administration as we move forward to potentially match that, and I'll get the information over to the city clerk and she can forward that to you. This will be a great opportunity for us to show the citizens of this area that we are investing in actually improving the quality of life. We oftentimes hear that a lot. The next piece of my presentation today is dealing with the Municipal Court Committee that was established a little over a month ago. I have not heard any updates about when that committee will meet. I'm hoping that it will be soon because we're seeing a lot of the same issues reoccur over and over and over. And the reason primarily, if we remember in Chapter 38 of the Mobile Municipal Code, it calls that there should be an assessment, which was my original request to this council, made every month. And so we know that with the council here, we've had an opportunity to gain several assessments, but we have not made those public if they have been in place. And so I would like to know what is the future of that committee so that citizens can actually start participating and getting those things to the chairman, which I know is going to be Councilman Richardson. The last piece, in closing, the performance contract piece. Our financial committee director, or chairman, excuse me, will always ask, if you want some other resources somewhere, you need to show us where they can come from. And so I'm looking very forward to hearing what some of the ideas are in the committee meeting as well as the public hearing, which I will present then as well, where we can shift some of these dollars to ensure that the proper organizations who have the data, who have the results, who have what you can see as being tangible to get things done, is afforded the same opportunities as other groups. I'm totally behind any agency that wishes to make life better for any citizen. We're representing all 7 districts, and we hope to be at the table to make this a better place for all of us to live. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your time to speak, and I will be forwarding these communications both to the council and the administration.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Reverend James Murphy.
Morning.
Morning. My name is James Murphy. I live at 5089 Government Boulevard, 36693. I will be as brief as possible. I've heard you echo many things here this morning, and I did try to put some notes together in order for me to be successful before you. But what I want to really talk to you about is that your love for the city of Mobile, your respect for the city of Mobile, your admiration for the city of Mobile, and for those people who have retired, who are not able to really manage their financial as well. They took on the responsibility of working for the city in circumstances that were hard and maybe difficult for them at the time. I ask now that you have the budget before you, and since you say you love the city, love what it does and what it is accomplishing, that you would take a moment in your budget preparing to look at the retirees and see, can you find a raise? I know you can if you crunch the numbers. Numbers are not hard to be mixed with or put together, but you can find it in your budget to give the retiree a raise. I'm sure you can. I'm positive that you can. And I know that you will think about us. Since you say you love the city, since you say you care so much for us, and since you say you look like us or want to be like us, we will be before you again, talking to you again about a raise for the city retiree employees. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
I'm going
Mr. Williams, rather.
if I may, I'm being a retiree. I know how important it is that things are sustained. I think that that in the last 6 years, this administration, this council, has preserved a lot that hasn't been preserved in other cities. And as I've told my friends that are retirees of Mobile and state of Alabama, as well as the federal government, the time to talk is not when the budget's presented. It's to be always present. And I encourage my friends who are retirees to engage early. The budget process starts somewhere about 5-6 months ago, as the mayor outlined. It makes it very difficult at this point to come at the 11th hour and say, we need a great increase. And come with, only if we care. I think that, I certainly take it personally. That probably shouldn't. People tell me not to. But I do have a respect for the people who have worked here, and that we keep our promises. And so to make those kind of blanket statements, I just think it's unfortunate. I'm glad that you're here, and that you have this opportunity, and we don't take rebuttals. We don't take rebuttals. Mr. Chairman?
Reverend Murphy, I'm sorry, we don't have a rebuttal period. This is Mr. Williams' time to speak.
Oh, since he brought it, like it's...
No, sir, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
But I'm going to ask the rest of my friends, and look, I'm always available, and people know that, that we start this discussion early. And I've had this discussion with a couple of my friends. Really, I say this genuinely, that we need to start today about what's going to happen next year. And we also need to evaluate what has been increased and what has been sustained in the form of insurance and other things. It isn't that we haven't done anything on this council. This has been a good council for retirees, and I thank my colleague, Mr. Richardson, for joining arms with me on several occasions to make sure that that was the case. I'm open, but it will be in next year's budget that we will find substantial increases if there are some. Just being honest. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Richardson?
And I hope while Councilman Williams is going through the budget, that he finds something for the council. I've been on the council for 24 years and I have not received a raise. And while he has his microchip out and microscope, see if anything lingering around there for the Mobile City Council.
Again, I'm going to be kind of up front and say my answer will be no.
Well, I just want to clarify the rules because I have the utmost respect for Pastor James Murphy, pastors in my district at the Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. Doc, once you had left the podium, your time has elapsed. So it's absolutely no disrespect. I just want to make certain that that's clear. There are several of our retired employees here. I'd ask that you all would stand. You took the time to be here, so let's acknowledge it. Thank all of you for coming down today.
The next two speakers are regarding Shadowgate issues. Marl Cummings, followed by Brian Murphy.
Morning.
Morning.
Marl Cummings, 300 Levert Street, Mobile 36607. Here to talk about the proposed lot sales in the Shadowgate subdivision. My wife and I bought our first home at 300 Woodlands Avenue 16 years ago. We lived there for 3 years. Wanted to start a family. We found our current home at 300 Levert Street at the corner of Levert and DeBroca. We've lived there for the past 13 years. We have no intentions of leaving the neighborhood. We love this area. Before these lots were offered for sale, we had an architect draw plans to improve our property with a back porch overlooking the field and a new landscaping plan for our yard. We are eager to renovate our home and need some additional land due to our irregular shaped lot. So naturally, we jumped at the chance to purchase the city-owned lot that was offered to us and proposed a purchase price well above the assessed value. A few of my neighbors have expressed their opposition to development of the field with new single-family homes in the subdivision due to increased traffic and flooding concerns. We agree with those concerns and do not want to see the previously flooded lots developed into new single-family homes. However, our plans are in line with the vision of our neighbors for the neighborhood. Our proposed renovations are low impact and would not add any additional slabs or structures to the area. We want to add a covered outdoor area to our house to better enjoy the green space in the neighborhood. Our proposed plans may extend 1 foot onto the city-owned lot, Lot 100, that we wish to purchase. We would plant trees and additional landscaping to enhance the green space. Some members of the council may ask, why sell Lot 100 to the Cummings and not consider the other lot sales? My proposed use would eliminate this lot from ever being developed for a new single-family home and generate cash for the city. At the same time, remove this lot from the City of Mobile's maintenance list. I've not received any negative feedback from my neighbors about my intentions for Lot 100. I think a few of my neighbors are here today. At last week's meeting, there was discussion of revisiting the sale of the lots until 2031 or 2033. If that is the position of the council, I'll still be next door and still want to purchase the lot. I would appreciate the council's consideration for the purchase of the lot next to our house so that my family, a longtime resident of Shadowgate, can improve the house we love in Midtown where we plan to stay. If you wait till 2033, our children will be out of the house and would have lost this opportunity for them to enjoy it with their friends as they grow up. I've been presented with some proposed restrictive covenants that would run with Lot 100 that I am agreeable to. I hope this council will consent to the sale, as we have offered well above assessed value. The lot will come off the city's maintenance list. Our family, longtime residents of Shadowgate, will have increased use and enjoyment of the property. Most importantly, our proposed use of this lot is in line with our neighbors' desire to keep these lots undeveloped. I hope y'all will consider moving on this agenda item today. I want to pass around a map showing where my home is in relation to the lot that I wish to purchase.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Richardson?
Mr. Cummings, I've known you down through the years. I certainly have nothing against you purchasing the lot next to you. The issue is Shadowgate itself. The citizens in the community want to know what's going to happen to all of the vacant property in Shadowgate. So there is Mr. Jamie Roberts, he's right up here, is working on a plan that he's going to present to us. It's going to take him from 6 to 8 weeks to get that plan together, and then we're going to call the entire Shadowgate community together, and hopefully we'll leave there with a plan for all of the property in Shadowgate. Today, if we voted it down today, then the contract would be dead. If we table it, the contract is alive until we can have this meeting. So I'm going to recommend today that we table 88031 and 032 to keep those contracts alive until we have this meeting. So everybody, we can't pick and choose. We're going to treat everybody the same so everybody would know what we will be doing going forward. We need some time. So I'm going to ask them to table it, meaning your contract is alive. We're not voting it down until we can get the plan and we all come back together, and hopefully you'll be able to buy your lot. That's my hope for that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Madam City Clerk?
I called his name.
Brian Murphy at 308 Lavert Street. Talking on 3 points today, so I'll be short and brief. Hearing Kathy O'Keefe last week speak to the council in regards to her involvement in the creation of the 3 Mile Creek Watershed Plan, my question is for us to evaluate where's the involvement of FEMA. They're an integral partner in the event of storm damage, particularly around flood capacities, and they were instrumental in developing an option for the citizens and residents of the Shadowgate neighborhood at a time of disaster, up into including 74 other homes that were a part of the assessment and the buyout, and additional 7 businesses that were a part of it. So though this is about Shadowgate, There's also a larger element that FEMA was instrumental in providing support for the residents of Mobile. And I'm curious, what is their voice and opinion around relinquishing the land that was once claimed? Also creating a checkerboard approach to new home construction and development. The second point I bring up is obviously with the events of yesterday. Yesterday was a Tuesday, and I think the council in the pre-meeting saw evidence in video of flooding that we see routinely. And so now imagine we develop 18 new homes with no guidance of water management, and what happens to the existing homes in low areas that are now rebuilt. And the third piece is, Councilman Richardson just said, we do look forward to meeting with you in the short term and talking this further. So, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one more time.
Mr. Richards?
The Executive Director of Public Works, Mr. DeLamp, is over here, who worked for the Corps. He was head of the Corps. He has not had the opportunity to look at the property over there to see anything about FEMA, HUD. He is proficient in that area. We're going to give him time to look at all of this information, come up with a plan, and initiate. But until such time that he has the opportunity to look at where we are and help us carve out a path to move forward, we are not moving. We're going to stand still until we get a sure path to move forward. I agree. It was flooding over there yesterday. And if it had rained all day yesterday and all night last night, water would have come out of that creek onto that property. The idea that it will not flood again, Mother Nature has never told us that. And I don't think we can stop Mother Nature if she wants to flood. So we need to know what's going to happen. And the citizens over there are all up in air over the future, and we going to set a path for the future. And until we get the future ready, hopefully we're going to table these two items until we are ready to move forward.
Ordinance sales.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I've had some citizens here that I would just like to pass out say some information, give them some information. I was on Saturday we had an unveiling of the Florida Fortune Gateway to Figures Park, and her family is up here now because I told them that it would be on the agenda today that we were going to name Clement Street honorary as an honorary street in her behalf today. It didn't make the agenda. I just talked to Mary Ann. It will make the agenda next week. It's not on the agenda this week. It's going to be next week. It didn't make it. I thought it was going to be on there. But they are here today for us to vote on naming Clement Street honorarily after. Would y'all stand up there? This is Mr. family. All righty. And I'm so sorry that y'all came today, but we'll make sure it's going to be on next week. We're going to do it next week, and then we're going to set aside some time to go and unveil the street name. We'll have the same kind of reception as we did Saturday when we get ready to unveil the street marker out there. So I wanted to, in case y'all want to leave, because there's no need y'all staying all the way through expecting us to do that when it's not on the agenda, but I've already been assured it will be on the agenda next week. Okay.
All right. Thank you all for coming down. Yes, ma'am.
Ordinance is held over. 87030, ordinance deeming property at 1301 Azalea Road not now needed for public or municipal purposes and authorizing a lease to Mobile United Football.
So moved.
Second?
Probably moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
88031 and 032, ordinances deeming lot 100, lots 106, 107, and 108 Shadowgate Place not now needed for public or municipal purposes and authorizing the sale.
Motion to table.
Second?
Probably moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes. Just
Ms.
real
Rich?
brief, and I thank everyone for coming down on this topic this week and last week. And I thank this council for working with the administration if there is a plan to move forward, but to always take into account that the incident that happened many years ago was devastating to people. And so far, having that land in the public's trust has prevented, although like Councilman Richardson said, we don't have we can't predict, but again, I hope that there's real good community input and also working with what the Corps came up with and the agencies that helped get the city to remove and to pay back citizens who lost their property in that flooding event in the 80s. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rich.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Richardson?
I lived in Shadowgate from 1975 to 1985. From 1980 to 1981, we had 3 100-year floods. I was there for all 3, and they had to send a boat to get me out. Water almost covered in. I had a 2-story house, and I barely got out of the door. I know, and we have citizens over there now who was there during that period of time. And none of us expected anyone to build anything on that property again. So that issue has got to be straightened out, and that's what we intend to do.
Oh, yes. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items are tabled.
Resolutions held over. 01757, authorized amendment to Ashland Fire Station purchase and sale agreement to extend closing date. 01758, 759, 760 are authorizing agreements with Acker Solutions for Site 7 of Foreign Trade Zone. Technip USA for Foreign Trade Zone on Dolphin Island Parkway. Technip USA for Foreign Trade Zone on Hurricane Bay Drive. 21761, authorized contract with Robert J. Baggett for Cooper Riverside Park floating dock deflector boom. 31763, approve an update to federal procurement requirements. 37765, approve a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Gina Houston doing business as Faithful and Loving Caregiver Sitting Services. 37766, approve a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Latavia Randolph doing business as Net Runs.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01768 through 03802.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 01768 through 03802.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
01768, authorized agreement with Dees Lawn Care for nuisance abatement, securing of structure at 355 Regina Avenue. 03769, appoint Travis Black to the Improvement District of the City of Mobile McGowan Park Project in substitution for Tracy Joseph. 37770, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer table wine off-premises license for break time on Moffett Road. 771, 772, 773, 774, 775 are declaring structures public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 58, 776, 777, and 778 are declaring weeds noxious, authorizing removal of weeds and assessing costs for removal of weeds. 6779, approve special bonus for firefighter of the month for August 2019, Raymond McCarron. 6780, determine the expenditure to the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Alabama serves a public purpose and approve payment. 08799, approve requisitions over $7,500 for the week of August 19th, 2019. 08800, approve item-based bids. 03802, appoint Gypsy Van Antwerp to the Architectural Review Board.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21781 through 21782.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21781 through 21782.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21781, authorized contract with H&H Electric Company for Herndon Sage Park field lighting controls. 21782, authorized contract with Michael Baker International for 2019 CIP bridge maintenance and repair.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01783 through 37796.
By council rules, said resolution will lay over for 1 week.
Call for public hearings, 41797, call for public hearing to consider approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Shivani McDuffie, doing business as To Go Money Services, scheduled September 3rd. 41798, call for public hearing to rezone property located on the north side of Spring Hill Avenue, 105 feet west of Knowles Street, extending to the west side of Knowles Street from R1 to B1, scheduled September 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearings are called.
Announcements, again, the public hearing for the 2019-2020 budget will be September the 3rd at 10:30.
All right, Ms. Gregory, District 7.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, appreciate that. A couple of announcements. This morning, Maple Street Biscuit officially opened. There was a long line waiting to get in, even in the rainy weather, at 7 o'clock this morning. So Maple Street Biscuit is officially opened. It is right next door to Loretta Park on Old Shell Road. I was able to go to a soft opening last week. Again, people were out the door, waiting in line all along the street, and it was worth the wait. So come on out, check out Maple Street Biscuit. They are open for breakfast and for lunch. Also coming up, and we'll be sending out more information about this, we have some implementation plans underway for Langen Park. It's all part of the 12 Mile Creek project that we are working on. We'll be looking for some people to participate in focus groups and a steering committee to help us implement these plans. And again, we'll be sending these out as time gets closer. The meetings will probably be taking place in October. We'll just get those dates out to you as time draws closer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Director Barber, on next Tuesday, 1 o'clock, we're going to have a Public Safety Committee meeting.
Next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. We're going to hold a Public Safety Committee meeting. We would like to you give us an update on crime, gun violence, any strategy you have regarding crime prevention, crime report for the districts. And I saw a report on TV the other night dealing with dyslexia, where dyslexia is children who, when they see words, it's all scrambled up. Their mind scrambles the word. A part of their brains is not functioning right. So when they see a word, it's scrambled up to them. So they have problems. Everything else they can do, math, science, but words, but reading. And a lot of kids are put out of school. They drop out because they can't read when it's a medical problem that can be treated. So what they discovered, that 50% of the people in this particular prison were suffering from dyslexia, where they drop out early and result to crime. So I will be contacting the superintendent of the Mobile Public School System to see whether or not these kids that's having trouble reading in the first, second, and third grade, whether someone is testing them. It's not that they are dumb. They're not dumb. They're suffering from dyslexia, and they're going to end up in the criminal system. So we're going to end up, because they're not going to be able to compete unless they get some help from somebody. So I'm going to, that's one for the school system. I'm going to deal with the school system on this one, because this could be a call to some of that crime out there, where these kids can't function normally and they run off the rails with crime. When if they had gotten some help, they could go ahead on and like any other normal citizen. So that's something we're going to work on. But anyway, we plan on meeting 1 o'clock next Tuesday. Thank you.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you. I'd like to announce again the Public Services Committee meeting on September the 10th at 2 o'clock. Right now, the location is sort of up in the air because as chair of the committee, I'm thinking we'll have people from our industry, the towing industry, since that is the topic, to come down and address this committee on their ideas, concerns, or input. And depending on the number of people, the committee might have to meet in this auditorium. It just makes things easier as far as hearing and participation, which is what I'd really like to encourage. And also I look forward to the administration's police department, legal division with policing to also give guidance, and our council attorney as well. Again, this is at 2 o'clock on the 10th of September in Government Plaza somewhere. We'll have that down better. I've asked the clerk's office to make sure that the industry is very much aware of this particular meeting, since it's been such a topic of conversation. And this council committee started the process, was asked to rest it, and now we're going to go back up and gear up and work on modifications and updating that ordinance. The committee consists of council members, Small and Dave's, and all council members are urged to attend as well, since this will be a council ordinance at the end of the day. So thank you. And also, again, if I could just invite people out to the grounds on September 4th through the 8th to be part of or to witness the dog show. It truly is a wonderful educational event, family event. It's free to the public, and you will learn so much to be part of that. So make plans, get that on your calendar. Would love to see you come out. And again, parking is free and entry is free as well. Thank you.
Mr. Small?
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. Greetings to the citizens of District 3. Please mark your calendars for Tuesday, September the 24th. And we will be having our district meeting, which will be held at the Revelation Missionary Baptist Church. Right before our district meeting at 5 o'clock p.m., we are going to have a job fair from 5 p.m. until 6 o'clock p.m. And we will be inviting several companies throughout the city and in the county of Mobile to be here, to be at the Revelation Baptist Church at 5 o'clock p.m. on the 24th. And then starting at 6 o'clock p.m., we will have our district meeting. Again, this will take place on September the 24th at 6 o'clock p.m. is the district meeting, and 5 o'clock p.m. will be the job fair, inviting all the citizens in District 3 to come out on that Tuesday on the 24th of September. If you have anything particular that you'd like to be addressed, please contact my office at cj.small@cityofmobile.org or either 251-208-7441. If any particular thing that you want to be addressed at this meeting, please contact me at either one of those numbers. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Mr. Williams? No, thank you. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The clerk has announced that the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2020 budget will be a week from today at our 10:30 a.m. meeting. That is the place where the council will hear public comment on the budget. The Finance Committee will meet today at 2 o'clock p.m. It's an open meeting. Anyone can attend, but no public comment will be taken at that meeting. That's a work meeting for the council to hear from the finance director and better understand the budget. The Finance Committee will again meet on September 10th, Tuesday, September 10th at 3:30 p.m. Again, no public comment will be taken at that meeting. Again, it's a work session for the council to work with the administration on the budget, and hopefully we'll be in a position to pass the budget on September 17th. Thank you.
Thank you.